relationship therapy, as the therapist, I look to see what it is that the relationship is needing in order for there to be understanding and for those in the relationship to feel as though they're able to make the relationship work. Sometimes I might be a mediator, where I try to find a way for some agreements to take place. Sometimes I'm a facilitator, and so I might be helping a couple to speak more easily to each other, or to find ways of being together which they feel more comfortable. And sometimes I might be a referee, where I point out that behaviours are not helpful. Well, whatever it is that I end up doing, it's always a great privilege to be able to help with relationships. Over the years, I've helped thousands of relationships. And what I've discovered is that ordinarily there's a misunderstanding that's at the root of the problems. But what can feel so easy and clear at the start of a relationship can easily become muddled and confused. Disappointments can arise, misunderstandings which result in further hurts, harsh words being spoken, harsh actions even. And left unattended, of course, they can mount up. The wounds can become ever increasingly harsh and painful. And the problem is that left unattended, that we can lose energy and also not want to give time to something which is so painful. Intervention at an early stage is important and really, really helpful, because what's gone wrong at the end of a relationship will have been seen there at the beginning, in the smallest of interactions where there was a misunderstanding, the smallest of power problems, the smallest of the differences in belief or expectation of what a relationship should be or how it should work. Of course, we all come into relationships with our own histories of relationships, that we've been in the world with others, we've been in other systems of people, and so we come in with expectations which, when they're not met, can cause confusion and pain. Often, the way that we try to make sense of that is by trying to sort of label or understand how someone else is being. What doesn't tend to happen is that we find out from the person themselves what it is that's happening for them at those moments that we find difficult. The arrival in the therapy room is often because of some major event. It can be infidelity, or it could be a really harsh argument or some violence, or that there's a separation, or that maybe there are children and a couple have decided to give a relationship one last chance. Of course, the longer you leave things, the more there is that needs to be done. And whenever there's people coming into therapy for the first time, it's really natural to feel nervous about being misunderstood, nervous of being blamed, nervous of finding that actually there won't be a way forward. Just like seeking help with any other problem, of course, we're naturally nervous that things might be made worse. And of course, we'll only want to change as long as we can see that things can be better. Unfortunately, with relationships, it's often the case that people wait too long to seek help, so that there is so much to do and that there is a lot of energy that's required. But if you come for therapy earlier, if you start to try and engage and find energy, then what invariably happens is that progress can be made, misunderstandings can be uncovered, and communication problems corrected. Underneath it all is always a fear about being cared for and being able to be the person that can care for another. When we're in a relationship that's not working, of course, we'll feel bad that we find it hard to care for another person, because actually that's what we really want to be able to do. And we can feel scared at the thought that maybe another person doesn't care for us. What I found in working with relationships is that at the base of all of this is always a kind of a misunderstanding, a misreading of a situation. And what happens is that patterns of behavior are put in place, which often only serve to make things worse. Of course, it can be really hard to understand where the problem lies. Couples often come saying that either there's a lack of understanding, or they don't feel appreciated, or they don't feel supported. So three major reasons why people come for therapy, but what that actually means will vary from relationship to relationship, because what you find supportive, another person might not. The way you feel appreciated is not the way someone else might feel appreciated. And the way you understand things may not be the way that another person understands things. So in therapy, we look to see where the breakdown in understanding is coming from. There's not really ever rights and wrongs. Of course, there are wrongs if there are violence and law breaking. But generally, and for most relationships, the idea that there's rights and wrongs only really serves to create blame and to perpetuate problems. It's not about whether people are spending enough time together. It's not about whether they've got energy when they're together. It's not about whether their verbal communications are good or not, or even their non-verbal communications. It's not even about whether they agree. What's really important is that the relationship is working for those that's in it. If it's not working for one in the relationship, then the relationship is not working. And so that's where the focus needs to be. It can take time, of course, to uncover where the relationship's not working. It's also often the case that the issues that people think they're facing in the relationship are not the issues which end up being spoken about. And that's why meeting a therapist, committing time and space to looking at the relationship, being in a different environment, and also allowing a third person to help can be crucial in saving relationships. But it's not always, of course, about saving a relationship. It can be about finding a way forward. For some people, that's about changes in the relationship. Sometimes that's about separation or going in different directions, because sometimes things can feel too impossible to work through. But working through means that those involved feel a sense of resolution at the end, that actually whatever's happened is for the best, and that it's therefore possible to move forward. So whether moving forward in the relationship or moving forward out of the relationship, the important thing is there'll be a resolution, a sense of resolution. I hope you find this video helpful. There's more information on our website about relationships and relationship therapy. And don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye for now.